We will now come to listen to a very important personality, Mr. Deepak Ghaisas. Actually, he doesn't need any introduction because he's very well known in the information technology world and in the news from time to time. Nevertheless, to those who do not know, I would like to introduce him. But professionally, he's a chartered accountant, cost accountant and company secretary. He is presently the vice chairman of iFlex Solutions. He was the chairman of Genova Strategic Services Private Limited, has held important positions. In '93 was the chief financial officer of iFlex Solutions for its global operation. In '97 he added the role of the CEO in the operations while retaining the CFO position. And for his outstanding contributions as a CFO, he was the recipient of the CFO Asia Award in 2001. The first Indian to win the award. Please give him a big hand. Again, recently, that is in 2004, he got the Economic Times Award for excellence. So here, for rising above and beyond excellence, we have a person who is a personification of excellence. I think you are from Siddham College. From Siddham College, we started the session with Dr. Vishnu Kanare, again from Siddham College, also a personification of excellence for his outstanding academic achievements. So we are having the right person at the start. He delivered the first session, and here we have the valediction, another person who personifies excellence. He has been member of several important bodies, executive member of NASCOM Executive Council, vice president of the Maharashtra Economic Development Corporation, and a wide variety of bodies touching different sectors of the Indian economy. When we designed this program and said we are going to have a valediction, the first thing Dr. Vidya said was, let's call Mr. Deepak Ghaisas for this valediction. That's how we lined you up, and then I took over from there. Thank you, Mr. Deepak Ghaisas, for coming today, sparing your valuable time. And may I request you to address this audience and give your version of excellence and what teachers might do in the field of education if they have to rise above and beyond excellence, given the fact that we are excellent institutions in the eyes of the University of Bombay, but our chairman has certain other things in mind, bigger things in mind. Thank you very much. You can sit and talk. No?
Dr. Modi, first of all, thanks a lot for a generous introduction. A few things to add to that. Some correction and things to add. I was vice chairman of iFlex. Now I run biotechnology group. And even though I'm a chartered accountant, I was in food industry first 5 years, then I was in IT industry for 25 years. And at the age of 50, I thought I should do something different. So I opened the book again and learned molecular biology, microbiology. I started 3 companies. One of them deals with stem cells. So we extract stem cells from the tooth, which are called mesenchymal stem cells. And since science professors are there, so I can say some jargons to impress you guys. So we work on mesenchymal stem cells. We work on therapeutic part of it and see how technologies can be used to improve the quality of life of human beings. So we are in 17 cities now, and we are trying to get in Singapore, and we are trying to get in Middle East. I think I must thank Dr. Pedekar as well, because a few months back I was in Bhubaneswar because of some philanthropy that we were trying to do, distributing Akash 2 for primary school teachers in Konkan area and training them for that. And Dr. Pedekar was kind enough to offer that facility of his in that region. And I can imagine what Dr. Murthy said, that whatever awards you get, if the head of the institution is satisfied with that, then that institution will never walk. That dissatisfaction, and my definition of excellence is the dissatisfaction what you have. So wherever you say where you are, and you say, oh, I'm very comfortable, I'm very fine. And you say, talk about Bernard Shaw, that he was still in kindergarten as far as English is concerned. And that is, I think, dissatisfaction. And people who are dissatisfied, I think, can strive for excellence. But the moment you feel that you are excellent, you're finished. But then your progress stops. And that happens for the institutions, that happens for individuals. I see all the senior people here. And Vishnu Kanade is again senior to me in college. I also heard these two ladies talking about they are the junior most. Actually, they wanted to say they are the youngest ones. So,
problem either way.
But in the morning I was in WD and I was addressing some 1,500 engineers. So I now, last 25 years I would say, I've been spending 3 hours at least on Saturday in DG. So I taught right from Bajaj to SP Jain, outside India, in Africa, in Singapore, and so on. But I take that as my duty to spend at least 3 to 4 hours a week with the students. So this Saturday morning was my session in Dombivli. And again, wonderful gathering. 1,500 is not a small number. And these are the confused students. They are engineers, they don't know what next to do, whether to study further, whether to take a job. So these are all products going out of your colleges. And then they try to do something outside the world, and probably that's the time when they need some assistance. The fact is that the new generation, I don't know whether even our generation did the same thing, but these young kids don't like to listen to their parents. So you have to go and tell them what needs to be done. And probably they listen to us. I'm doubtful whether my kids will listen to me. So I don't know whom I should send them to learn what to do next. But taking the institution, I mean, I've been in the board of a few educational institutions. And every time we discuss on the advisory board, it's the same question. I would say last 6 years, the things have changed tremendously. Like engineering colleges, we used to, last 6 years we had different scenarios. Like in management schools, there should be extra burden on management schools to take more and more students. So I was in the syllabus committee of a few years back. I was in the syllabus committee of Mumbai University on management. And those days we used to have, every institution used to have a different interview and different test, aptitude test and so on, which we tried to convert that into a common test, and ultimately it happened. And I have seen a number of students, I used to have an interview panel, interviewing with students, trying to get them wherever they want to get in, trying to help them out. We realized the student quality was changing, but today when I look at, most of the management institutes are worried whether their seats will get filled. Same thing happens with the engineering colleges. So obviously either the supply has gone more and the demand is less. But whenever the situation comes where demand is less and supply is more, I think the excellence has more priority. Because when the demand is more, like when we used to run with 2 cars as a country, in my childhood we used to have either Fiat or Ambassador as a car. And obviously I've seen the quality of that, because obviously demand was more and supply was less. So quality was something that nobody was thought about. But today when we see the number of cars coming in and the quality improving, and every time you get a new car which is supposed to be more excellent than the earlier one, clearly it is because of demand and supply and the market pressures. I think the same thing now is happening to the, since we talk about management, principles and educational institutions, so I'm just referring to demand and supply. So clearly the demand, though it is more, I think the supply has gone beyond the demand. And that's why we find these empty seats in engineering colleges and in management schools. People are invested, they make that as a business, but few people like Dr. Berekar, I would say, who is sitting in Valeneshwar even today and trying to build another great institution there. And hats off to him for what he's doing. But I'm very happy that you guys come together to see, I would say, to a brainstorming on how to achieve that excellence step by step. And one of the things that, objectives rather I would say, that you have that how to take it to the global level. Now, my son fortunately, my LO1 just finished his engineering at the University of Purdue. And we were 4 years back when we were trying to look for good universities. I was just comparing them to why universities are so great in the United States. And we checked with Canada, we checked with the United States, we checked with UK, Australia and so on. And he was studying in Singapore before that. And then we realized that, say Purdue University for example, their website says that we have 6 Nobel winners. We have 1,240 patents. And when I look at, including IIT with all due respect, of course India doesn't have Nobel winners in science. We have one, Rabindranath Tagore in literature. I don't know, and of course Khurana is another one, C.V. Raman probably, and Amartya Sen. But they're all Indian origin working there. So to me, Rabindranath Tagore was only one Indian getting Nobel Prize. But most of them otherwise were Indian origin working there. And they got Nobel Prize only because they were working there. I mean, that's my way of looking at things. Now, I think your objective can be that another 10 years' time, I should have at least one Nobel Prize winner. Because I think aiming low is a crime. And most of us commit that crime very easily. Excellence is not something that I should feel myself, but more than that, it should be said by others that this institution is excellent. Why? Because it has Nobel Prize winner. And if the university has got 6 Nobel Prize winners, 10 so award winners, international awards that we talk about. I think if all of us strive for that as a country, we can't even win Olympic medals. We win 2 Olympic medals and we give them crores of rupees for that. Can you imagine if China government starts giving that much money to each Olympic winner? I think they will go bankrupt. Right? And this was, China was not there for 10 years back or 20 years back. They strive for that excellence and they achieve it. I think that sort of aims should be kept. And my suggestion would be, I'm too small person to give any such recommendation, but my suggestion, since the subject has been discussed, is that don't aim low, aim high. And I would rather, right from first year of science or commerce or economics or wherever, I would start finding out students who can be Nobel winners. Can they win a Nobel Prize? Can they do all the kind of research that we need to do to win a Nobel Prize? Can they form a theorem for that? What are the attributes of a Nobel Prize winner? It is very easy to say, oh, they are fixed prizes, they are fixed awards. No, they are not. They are excellence awards. I mean, ET award when we got as a company, I was very happy because that was first step of excellence for us. CFO Asia award when I got, I said that's the first step of excellence. And why I got that? Because I created the value in the company. When we started a company with $1 million capital, when we sold it to Oracle, we sold it for $4.5 billion. So that's 4,500 times value creation in 13 years is probably was thought as a matter of excellence. Am I satisfied? No. And that's why I left IT all along and started getting into this area of biotechnology, thinking that now 50 years onwards, first thing I should learn something more. And second thing, I should do something that will help human being as a race. I always wonder, and when I studied more about this biotechnology and molecular biology, one thing I realized that till that time, I was thinking that space is the most mysterious place. Today I feel like our body itself is a mysterious place. We don't understand our body. If there are 40,000 proteins that work in the body, I don't think we understand even 5,000 of them. The rest of them are still mystery to us. We don't know how our cells operate. We don't know how our cells get manipulated. When we manipulate cells, how they behave. Today when we are trying to go to a therapeutic area of stem cells, FDA-like organizations who are supposed to be the licensing authority for drugs, they are confused whether to call a particular therapy as a therapy or not. because once you manipulate, we call it Prasarak. So we multiply the cells. So when you multiply the cell, P2, P4, we don't know whether P4 will behave the same way as P1 will behave. We have still, as a human being, as a human race, the knowledge, community knowledge in the world, we haven't still established how our brain cells work. We don't know how the various enzymes in the body work. We still don't know whether DNA participates as a catalyst in the whole process with RNA. And so on and so forth. I can keep on talking about biology now for long. My problem is that chartered accountants, colleagues of mine don't believe I'm chartered accountant. My IT friends don't believe I'm a technologist. And now my doctor friends don't believe that I'm a biologist because I'm chartered accountant. But that is my idea of excellence. That when you do something, whenever somebody tells me I came second, and they clap, I get very hurt because second is always the first loser. The first number is first. Second is the first loser in that race. So if that is the way we start thinking, we'll also start hating number two. I don't want to be number two position. I want the first Nobel Prize winner from execution of India. If that is the aim, then I think we start working from it now, and probably 10 years down the line, you will actually have a winner of Nobel Prize sitting in India, probably still working here as a professor, and you can say that we are excellent. That is my definition of excellence. Because as I said, failing is not a problem. Failing is not a defeat. Failing is not a crime. But low aim is definitely a crime. And most of Indians, we are culprit of aiming low. And that's why we don't win Olympics. That's why we don't. I'm happy with cricket or T20 or whatever, at least in one game, even though only 12 countries in the world play that, out of 162 countries. At least in one game we win. Probably we win Kabaddi and Kho-Kho, because those are these typical wrestling also was supposed to be great, but now Iranians and Chinese and everybody wins, and we lose. I always wonder, in Gandhian country, we only medals that we got in the Olympics was in shooting and in boxing. We are supposed to be preacher of ahimsa to the world. And this is I am not belittling the achievements, but this is what we are. Okay, this is the dichotomy that we are living. Whenever you say good aims, I think you also need to quantify. I mean, again, I refer to your comments that you like the interactive session. This is the way. I did my management in London Business School. I took sabbatical. I was a little lazy guy. So, in between, I took some sabbatical and went to London Business School. I got scholarship for that because I passed for the exam. And I did management. So, I managed in London Business School. There was a professor. Every Saturday, we used to have a Nobel Prize winner coming there and talking to us. So, one economist was there. And there were 30, 40 CEOs of different organizations from almost like 26 countries together. And right from Arab royal family from Jeddah, who was running an oil company, to a dairy farming company in New Zealand. I mean, all kinds of industries were involved in that. So a simple question he asked us, do you like democracy or autocracy? And everyone said democracy. And then the next question he asked, how do you run your own company? And answer was very, very clear, autocratic way. Now just imagine if your class sitting like this, in interactive position, would you like to speech? My son, first time when he went to Singapore in United World College, doing his IB for 11-12. After 6 months I happened to be in Singapore, so I just went and met principal. And she said, he has a common Indian problem. And what is it? Because IB is a course, which is International Baccalaureate, is a course where the interactive sessions in every class is a must. And he says every student coming from India is used to monologue. Keep quiet is any slogan that you have in your school emblem a logo, all that means is keep quiet. Students are not allowed to ask questions. And probably that goes into college as well. I don't remember asking questions in any way. We used to listen to what Professor Ashu said. We used to, maybe in the tutorial time when the small classes there, we used to ask questions. Sometimes. But our students, our kids are not allowed to ask questions. Rather, they feel, teacher may not like, my colleagues will laugh at me, so I will keep quiet. And that is the worst part, I think, to go to excellence. Unless it is a participative session in college, I don't think we can have excellence in academics. And this is what our Gurukul system, I think, we refer to. The Guru, I mean, there's a difference between teacher, professor and Guru, to me at least. A teacher is one who tells you what happens. A professor probably teaches you or tells you how it happens and why it happens. But Guru is one who makes you think as a student, what next? What is your theory about it? When the student starts thinking like that, then I think you achieve your position as Guru. And one day he beats you with his knowledge or her knowledge, is the day that you should be waiting for. To me as an individual professor, I think that is the day of your excellence. That's the way I would look at it. But I think most of us, and I don't blame anyone, as we grow older, I think we get into what I call as orthodoxies. You know the word orthodoxy? We assume that we know. Okay? You want to do exercise? Small, quick exercise?
Please.
Yeah?
Yes.
You have paper and pencil with you, right?
Yes, all of that.
Okay, quick exercise. I love to tell this to professors. Okay, you got paper and pencil, or pen or whatever. Yeah, quickly. Listen to my question very carefully. Okay, listen to my question very carefully. You have a cake and you have a knife. You have to cut the cake twice in straight line and make maximum number of pieces. You have a cake, you have a knife. You have to cut the cake twice in straight line to see how many maximum number of pieces you can make. The time starts now, 20 seconds. One more second. Yeah, your time's up. So how many pieces? 6? 8? 10? 8. Anyone more than 8?
6 and 8.
Not more?
Less than 6, more than 8.
No, only more than 8. Less than 6 will be miracle.
Okay, more than 8. Anybody? How many people have 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or 12. How many people have 8?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7?
What happened to the rest of them?
Anybody more than 8? Nobody.
Okay. You got it?
Yeah.
Show how. Okay. So 8. Any different view? Or 8?
Who else got 8? Who else got 8?
Same way. Same way. Okay, the way which I could have done is after cutting first, put on top of each, make another, put on top of that, make another, and make 16 pieces. Right? Is it right? Okay. Now we thought that we have achieved excellence. Right? That one is 16 pieces. Now here what the problem comes. Moment I said cake, all of you must have drawn round cake. Or square cake. Or if you are a little younger like you, probably heart shaped. Now the right answer was given by a girl age 8. Because earlier day she had a birthday and her father had brought her a cake shaped in caterpillar. With 16 days on one side, 16 days on the other side. So the moment she cut the first cut, she had 32 pieces. Nobody asked, or nobody even thought that what shape cake has. Now this is what I call orthodoxy. All of us believe in life that cake is round. Please remember, cake is not round in life. And as we grow older, and this is not your problem, I mean, even I take this for management schools, as I said, they will go maximum to the hardship, not to the organ. Because the moment the cake and roundness of the cake is something that we have already think that we know. And that is what I call orthodoxy. So anytime you think you know, please remember me and the cake and say the cake is not round. Okay? And this will come in your personal life, it will come in your college life, academic life, anywhere. And this is what exactly the example of what I call as orthodoxy. And unless you break your orthodoxies, you will never achieve excellence. And the younger you are, I think your ability not to have these orthodoxies is more. And that's why I said the interaction of students with professor is something which will give you enormous view of life and education. I mean, I learn more from my students than what I think I teach them. And that happens only when there is interaction and not a monologue. So one of the ways, I mean, achieving excellence for the institution is one area, but achieving excellence in our own way of what we do, because we love what we do, and not we do it out of compulsion. Many times I say in Mumbai or Thane, we breathe out of compulsion. But go to a nice hill station or some Switzerland-like country, you love to breathe. You don't breathe there out of compulsion. You know, the moment you land there, you get out of the car, you breathe. Why? Because you love. I think that should be the way to teach, and that's how you can achieve your excellence. Am I sounding very sermon like that? Old guy? No. But this is my view, and I just wanted to share with you that how I would have loved to be my professor. I was lucky, I would say, in that I got many professors who loved to teach. They had no compulsion to teach in that college talk. I don't want to take names. And I loved them so much, and I can tell you this instance. I'm a chairman of a committee on the board of one of the big companies, a listed company. Deloitte is the auditor. And one day, when I entered the boardroom of that company for the audit committee, Mr. N.P. Sarda, I don't know whether you know, chartered accountant, who used to teach us accountancy. And I must tell you this instance, that when he suffered a heart attack when I was doing my chartered accountancy, we wanted his lecture on holding committee there, and his wife said no. Doctor said no. We got him in Sydenham auditorium, we provided him the mic and said, please teach us. And he took 3 hours lecture on the mic because there was no shower. And the entire auditorium was full. You know, that kind of respect that gentleman got. I met him in London on Heathrow Airport in the lounge. And obviously, he did not, first time he did not remember me. So I told him, I'm 78 batch. And then I told him what he had taught us. One lecturer actually narrated to him. He had tears in his eyes. I thought that time he thought that he achieved excellence. Because if 1978 batch student can tell in 2007 on Heathrow Airport a complete lecture of his, I think any professor should feel that he has achieved excellence. So I entered this room and this is background of MP Sada. And the moment he came forward, because I am being chairman, obviously everyone has to stand up and come and greet me. But that's the protocol. The moment he came to me, first thing I had to do, rather I did automatically, involuntarily, is to touch his feet. And everybody was stunned. Mr. Chairman is touching the feet of the auditor. I said, till now he was my professor, now I am chairman, so I'll keep that independent. So I'll ask him questions. That's all it. But first when I saw him, that was the reaction. I think that professor has achieved excellence as a person. Recently I met him in alumni meet. His wife also was there, so I was narrating him. He was narrating her the incidents what happened in the board. And of course he was proud. I think these are the moments which will beat any of the salaries and the monies that you make, whatever you achieve in life. One student doing this to you, I think that's a great satisfaction. It's a symbol of achieving excellence. You know, like parameters. My parameter when I have 20 years, 25 years I've been teaching, my parameter of that lecture is whenever bell rings, not a single student of mine should get up. That was self-imposed parameter because bell rings for me, not for students. Moment student gets up, that means my lecture failed that day. If you have applied these parameters, I'm not saying this is the same parameter you should apply. But I'm sure, like me, you can gauge looking at the class, even if it is a 60 student class, who is where? Mentally, physically, all of them physically there, but mentally who is there? You can make out that from giving the eye, looking at India's students. You know exactly what is going on in their mind also. I need all the students to be attentive to me, and that is the excellence I achieve. But to get into that, I think, again going back to physics, because physics professors, I always get into more of Einstein's rule, E is equal to mc squared, and that's everyone knows that. Most of us don't understand what it means because it has got a lot of depth in it. But my formula for excellence is G is equal to or E is equal to mc squared. E is the excellence. MC square is MC into C. Right? So that's how we get MC square. Now C is a change. Now change is a constant. So any equation on right hand side you have one constant. And MC is equal to your ability to manage the change. And as typical mathematics goes, if your MC, that your ability to manage the change is positive, then the only way to get the positive excellence. Because if your ability to manage the change is zero, obviously there is zero on the left hand side. If it is negative, obviously it is going to be negative, but change is constant, the C is constant. I guess you understand this formula, I don't write it before. That's the way I thought. And therefore, while in MEDC, I don't know how you guys manage that. Once I was in Sangli College, in Walchand College, and I met first 4 professors who came to receive me. Each one of them was 26, 28 years in that college. I felt very proud of that college, more than anybody else, because 28 years. And they happened to be, 3 of them happened to be ex-students of that college. So 6 years of college and 26 years of teaching. So entire prime time of their life is spent there. The thought came, how many times these guys must have gone on the shop floor while teaching mechanical engineering? Answer was none. And that's where my suspicion that your ability to manage change is down. So in ABDC what we did is that we ran a program whereby we actually got colleges convinced that at least 10 professors of theirs, of course in batches, take sabbatical, we take them to the engineering companies, we make them work in that engineering company for 3 months or 6 months and then get back. I think that's the only way you can manage the change. Even today somebody asked me what is the what book I should refer to costing. I said, I don't know. Because what book I learned, Prasarak, was the only costing book that time. I don't know how many good books are there now. And I'm not saying Prasarak was a bad book or ancient book, because costing is the same principle. It won't change. But how it is presented. So best way is to go to library and see. Many times I used to ask my father the meaning of an English word. And my father used to never tell me the meaning. Open the dictionary. Why? Because while referring to one word, you will automatically come across with 10 more words and your vocabulary will grow. I mean, I have studied entire my school in Marathi. I'm a vernacular student. I mean, just 10 years back, my father certified me ultimately. He was a Marwadi school student in English medium in those days. And he was a gold medalist in Vidya. But 10 years back, one day he told me, okay, your English looks okay now. It's improved. But he still never used to agree with me some slangs that I used to use in my article. Every article I used to write for newspaper and for magazine, I used to give it to him to us. And he actually used to sit with a pencil to correct. And that was a matter of pride for me. And of course satisfaction for him because I'm showing him that everything that I write. But the point is, achieving that excellence, peer review is another way of doing it. I think getting into industry, ability to manage change, getting peer reviews, these are the small tools. I mean, I would love that, you as a professor sit in other professors' class and actually go through that lecture. You might learn something in that whole process. And you might be able to make some positive suggestions to the professor saying that, no, I think this is the way I would have handled it. We are afraid of peer review. I mean, in industry also we are afraid of peer reviews. We hate peer reviews. Because we always feel that we hate audits. Right? Because I don't want anybody to check my work. But I think that these are all hurdles and orthodoxies of achieving excellence. And we must sort of get out of it. Now, before we close, I think since somebody told me that Mr. Thane gave some epic stories. Right? So let me give you a story as well. How we learn Dashavta. Okay, and that's the way I teach my students. Whenever me and my wife, both of us are fond of wildlife, for example. So we go to Masai Maras and tiger tops in Nepal and Kruger National Park and so on. We love these animals. Most of us watch them on Animal Planet. But there is nothing that I can explain to you when you actually see a kill happening in front of you with 3 lionesses chasing zebra and killing it. But that happens at 4 o'clock in the morning. So you get up early and go and actually see that. It's really, really thrill. Thrill is also very mild word. You can't explain. Your heart rates go up, your goosebumps on your skin. Everything happens. And I think everyone one of you should have that experience. But the management principle, I thought, that what every zebra must be thinking when he wakes up in the morning, assuming that they sleep in the night before, that I must run. If I want to survive, I must run faster than the fastest lion in this area. That's the only way I can survive. And what must every lion must be thinking? That every lion must be thinking, I must run at least faster than the slowest zebra in this area. That's the only way I can survive. Now, obviously, you have to understand whether you're a zebra or you're a lion. If you're a lion and leading the pack, then you have to run only faster than the slowest zebra to survive. If you want to lead, you have to run faster than the fastest zebra. If you're a zebra, like a common person, common institution, common professor, then to excel, you have to run faster than the fastest lion. Otherwise, the fastest lion will kill you. So obviously, you would love to be a lion. But then when I go to all this practicalities, as we call it, because one of the orthodoxies also is that, but this is not practical. There are problems. You don't understand our issues. Obviously, I'm lucky that I don't understand your issues. But I'm sure Dr. Bedekar also understands that he wants to ignore those issues. But that's the only way you can lead an organization to go to excellence. Right? Okay, so getting back to Dashavta. So every Dashavta, now we, as culture, Hindu culture or Indian culture, we have Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. Right? Brahma is supposed to be a creator and Vishnu is supposed to maintain this world or run this institution or run this company, or Shiva is supposed to destroy it. Now remember, Dashavta, taking avatar, is not happened to Brahma or to Shiva. It has happened only to Vishnu. What it means is that one who runs the institution has to change. The one who creates doesn't have to change. The one who's going to destroy doesn't have to change. Right? One who's running the institution has to change. And what Dashavta tells you, am I right?
Absolutely, yeah. No, I'm recalling a life situation.
Right. But if Brahma changes, then you have problems. Right? So Dr. Bedekar is doing his right. He need not change. He has to be constant. And Shiva is going to destroy, so he is not that worry about it.
Princess Pejavar, Vidya, they have to learn.
Yeah, they have to change. That situation changes. And now every Dashmata story tells you exactly the same thing, how to survive, how to win over the situation. Take Narasimha Avatar for example. Okay, this demon went to God and told him, I want immortality. God said, sorry, I can't do that. Then he said, okay, don't give me immortality, but give me a thing like, I will not be killed either by human being or by animal, not in the morning or not in the night, not in the house, not outside the house, not in the sky or not on the land, blah, 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 blah. And I don't know why, but God said, okay. The moment God said, okay, he thought we were immortal. Now these kind of situations all of us face, that things look impossible. And what Narasimha Avatar tells you is how God overcame, or Vishnu overcame these kind of situations. So what he did? He took Narasimha Avatar, which was not neither animal nor human being. He came in the evening, so it was not daytime nor night time. He sat on the door, so it was not inside the door or outside the door. He took him on his lap, so that it is not on the sky, not on the ground. And he tore his stomach with his legs, so it was not by Shastra or Astra. And he killed him. So story tells me that any difficult situation, if I try to achieve excellence, I can win that situation. Now if you start telling this story this way to your students, I think their morale will go up. They will also start achieving. Because any difficult situation comes, first thing that happens to us, oh, economy is bad, share price is going down, nothing is happening in this institution, nobody listens to me, nobody takes decision, all kind of things. What you did, why can't you be Narasimha to do this? And if you do that, I think you can achieve that excellence. I wish you all the best. I think I took more time than, because time management was one of your... It was 5:45, so I did that in 5:45. Right? So I am also keeping my time. So thank you very much for listening to me. I hope you enjoyed this session. It was not so boring with the cake. But remember, cake is not wrong. Thank you.